turns out to be Coach Butler's last at Crespi. And Crespi has a good team. The staff is Rick Naranjo, the great Steve Stanley, Mo Friedman, Harry Welch, and Steve Butler. And it's a well-oiled machine that comes out of the gates and gets revenge against Burroughs, 35-13, when Set the Moose Loose came into the boat. Bill Schneiders ran wild. And Mike Brady caught passes, and the team rolled. But the big collision course in the middle of the schedule was that team from La Cañada called St. Francis High School. And 2 weeks before Coach Butler got his one and only chance to coach against the man for whom Friedman Field is named at St. Francis High School, is Coach Jack Friedman. St. Francis beat Temple City. Big deal, you say. It had only been 47 games in a row since Temple City had lost, and St. Francis beat them. And so that made Coach Butler pay even more attention. He and Mo played far fewer rounds of golf the week leading up to St. Francis than was normally the case. Well, that game was the most exciting and hard-hitting 6-0 victory that was even imaginable. And I'm biased, but one of my favorite parts about the day is, remember, Steve Butler's coaching gutty little Celts now. And the epitome of what the gutty little Celts were up against came on, remember, it was strong tackle, quick tackle, or weak side tackle. Well, the weak side tackle for Crespi was Steve Shepard, who was going, well, he claimed 5'9", which makes me 6'4 3/4, about $185, and his man was Ray Peters, who would earn a full ride to Greg's beloved Trojans, and who would be a starter on a Rose Bowl champion USC team. And in the Crespi gym, the crowd was, the student body was palpably stoked. And by God, if they didn't come out with a chant of "We Want Stumpy," which was Stephen's nickname, the 5'3.5" weak side tackle. And up came Steve Shepard to give a pregame talk to the entire student body. And I think it galvanized the student body. It galvanized Kettles, who had to look over his back shoulder to see where Ray Peters was coming from, to see Steve Shepard take the microphone and Steve Shepard say, "I can make you one promise. You come out there tonight and you're going to see the Celts kick some ass." John King cited him for a detention, but the student body was inspired, and the game was great, and it went down to the last 2 minutes of the game. There was a blocked punt, it was picked up and it was returned, and it took a bit to get into the end zone because that was a very good football team, but it was a great 6-0 victory. And one of the things over some of those post-round matches that Steve Shepard and I would say was, what was that handshake like? And what we learned was he was met with cold indifference from his mentor, Jack Friedman. They're competitors. And on the word that they call competitor, our final scheduled speaker was one of the captains, the most valuable player of the 1973 team. And you know, memory tells me that Coach Butler was the head coach for 4 Crespi teams. Steve McCardle and Mike Keeler were MVPs in his first year. I think it was John Sullivan in his second year, John Obringer in his third year, and it was Bob Kettles and Steve Boron in his fourth year. And it took Mike Keeler's early demise, and it took Steve Boron's early demise for all 6 of Butts' MVPs not to be here. But last on our schedule and not least, one little vignette. I got a voicemail from Bob about 3 weeks ago, and that wasn't that unusual. I've heard from Bob before. But if you know Bob, you'll know that there was something shocking about this voicemail. Because you know, when a voicemail shows up, it shows the length of the voicemail message. And the number was 19. And I swear to God, I expected it to say minutes. and it was only a 19-second voicemail message. And brevity's the soul of wit, Bob. Please make welcome Bob Kelly.